everyone, my name is Elaine, and today I'm going to be sharing what I feel is the best thing about each Unison League class. I'm just going to jump right into things, starting with the Cleric. The Cleric has the heals. Not only can they keep you safe with those heals, but they can remove debuffs and pesky status ailments like Paralyze with them as well. The Mage has spells that heal your character, which makes it easier for your Cleric, if you have a Cleric on your team, and also makes it more difficult for them to die, which is really good because they're often squishy. Now, some of you might be wondering why I didn't choose Ancient Spell. Let me tell you, Ancient Spell was my second choice. Potential for boop fails bumps it from first. For the soldier, it's Imperial, Territory, and Charisma. I really couldn't decide between these two as they both make the soldier awesome. Imperial Territory applies a reliance state to one ally and their adjacent allies, a max of 3 allies. It nullifies Unison Gauge reduction 1 time. This move is amazing because it counters abilities such as negative pressure. Charisma's primary effect, however, is that it fills the Unison Gauge of all allies by 5, excluding yourself, and casts a 20-second effect that has a 10% chance to ignore all physical and magic damage. Its added effect is that it increases your character's physical defense and magical defense by 20% for 20 seconds, essentially making it cheer with some pretty sweet buff effects. This is especially helpful for guilds depending on its cheer strategy to win, especially when one considers that the soldier can bring both it and cheer to help their team. For the Lancer, I chose Negative Pressure, which decreases the Unison Gauge of one enemy and their adjacent enemies, a max of 3 enemies, by 10. Why? Because being a tiny little troll so your team can win unison battles is strangely satisfying. For the Archer, it's super high damage. Nuff said. For the Rook, I was going to go with Tanky AF, but then decided to go with Devoted Sacrifice, which can only be used on oneself. It applies a Divine Shield for 5 seconds, which causes you to receive all of the damage inflicted to your allies during this time. To expand on this, only you will take damage from both all party and multiple unit attacks, but damage received will increase with the number of targets the attacks were originally intended to hit. While this is in effect, your HP will not be reduced to 0. As a Cleric main, I love this move because it makes it far easier to keep my allies alive. As a DPS, I love it because it helps my squishy butt survive. And as a mage specifically, I love it because it actually gives me a chance to use Ancient Spell. No booping, boopers! For the Treasure Hunter, their abilities which affect uni gains and Unison Gauge capacity. The first is Treasure Hunt, whose secondary ability reduces a PC target's Unison Gauge gains by 1 for 15 seconds. It increases your Unison Gauge gains by 1 for 15 seconds. The second is Extended Unison, which increases the gauge capacity of one ally and their adjacent allies, a max of 3 allies, by 10 for 60 seconds. I like these two abilities because the first is a super satisfying troll move, which makes it easier for you to get uni and use your monsters. And I like the second because it's a decent counter to the trolls who use moves like Negative Pressure and Emperor's Bind. I like the fact that the Berserker has many different playstyles. For example, a mage build, an archer build, etc. The versatility makes them a lot of fun to play. For the Ninja, they have 2 distinct playstyles depending on whether you're going with Taijutsu or Ninjutsu. Maybe not distinct, but they're definitely 2 different sides of play, and are a nice blend of a DPS and support class. Furthermore, they possess several cool abilities with multiple effects. In essence, in addition to dealing damage, they may also decrease a target's Unison Gauge, as is the case with Stealth Slash, or remove buffs from the target, as is the case with Sweet Taunt. The Morpher. They have abilities that do extra damage to NPCs, both non-boss NPCs and boss NPCs. Shining Smash has its ability power increased when the target is the boss, while Shining Bomber's ability power is increased when targeting an NPC that is not the boss. This is great because it can give you that little edge you need to finally complete a difficult quest, cut down on the time it takes to grind and complete quests, and do a little extra damage, which can really help out newer players who may be struggling with the game because they don't have the best gear yet. And there you have it. What I feel is the best thing about each UL class. What did you think of my list? Did you agree with my assessment? Let me know down below in the comments. I always like to know what you guys think. And if you like what you saw here today, please smash that like button until it's blue. Subscribe, ring that bell so you'll know what's up, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.